welcome to MJ Hobby Corner. I'm Martin, otherwise known as MJ, and this is the final game of Death Wizards. This is our first in our Halloween series, but final game for Death Wizards, as I will be moving on for a bit. No problem though, in the future we could return with more Death Wizard games, a different Necromancer, or maybe someone close to Rottergast who takes up his legacy as Necromancer. I wonder who that could be. In any case, here is the game setup, and we are ready to play this final game, and this is Awaken an Ancient Beast. Here is the board for this game, and of course it's loaded with scratch-built material and some new things that I added, my towel mat for example, and yeah, so it's gonna be a cool, very cool game, I think. So sit back and enjoy. So this scenario is normally played at difficulty 13, rating difficulty 13, and the heroes are the following. We have a rating 4 ranger, that's the little guy with the bow, and on that front row we have a paladin, which is rating 3. We have a red wizard, which is also rating 3, and that's the little female wizard there with the red robes. And then behind her we have a priest that's rating 4. That's gonna be tough. And then finally, all the way at the end, is the blue wizard, rating 3, and she is the second female wizard of the heroes. This is going to be a tough batch. I know I always say this, but those rating 4 priest, that rating 4 priest and the rating 4 ranger means more durability to have to take down. So yeah, it's going to be a tough one. Rottergast is bringing 13 rating of undead. That's all he has in his lair because 8 rating of undead were destroyed in a lair raid last game. So while he won last game pretty easily, he paid a high price. So this is all he has left. Now he has the flesh golem with the nice metallic spider legs, followed by Mariska, our vampire spawn, and we then have Rottergast himself. And right next to Rottergast in that front row is Cousin, our little skelly who has a lot of personality. And behind Cousin is Lucian, the Death Knight. He is one of our very powerful figures. Behind him is the giant skeleton, essentially. And he's also a Reaper miniature, a very, very cool Reaper Bones miniature. And finally, we have one of my very own sculptures, something I sculpted a few years back, and it's my Lizard Man Skelly. Now, there's nothing really special about him. He is rating 1, and he is nothing but bones. So that makes up Rottergast's new crew. And it's a different crew, I have to say. Okay, it's the beginning of the turn and we're in advanced mode, so I have to roll for each of my minions. Any 6 that I roll is a d6 damage for that minion. So beginning with the flesh golem. Now I'm going to summarize this. He rolls a 3 and he is fine. Now giant skeleton. He rolls a 3 and he is fine. And let's go to the skeleton lizard man. He rolls a 4. He is fine. Mariska. She rolls a 2 and she is fine. Death Knight. A 2. He is fine. Cousin. A 5. Ooh, that was close. All right, all minions are fine. Next turns, I will summarize that. All right, Rodergast, first activation. Gas speed has increased thanks to his upgrade. So he has a speed of 6 now. He moves forward and then uses his special ability to teleport one of his minions. Now, remove from harm, I use it as a house rule. As a house rule, I use it to teleport my minions, and especially the slow minions, and catapult them forward a good 12 inches within line of sight. However, I cannot teleport them into combat. They have to be far away from any enemy heroes. So they can't be teleported into combat, but there it is. So that is my house rule, and now we go to my 4 rating of undead. Flesh Golem moves 5 inches away from the swamp and into the road. And he now moves closer to the minions, wasting no time. Rating 3. I can't move my Bone Giant. He's rating 3, so I can move Marishka, who's rating 1, and she moves 6 inches right next to her master. That's it. So that's my 4 rating of undead. Ranger rolls for his AI first. On the hero's turn, he rolls a 6, which is a result of Rain of Arrows. Ranger has a whopping 9 offense, so 9 dice, and the defense of the Flesh Golem is 8, so the Ranger needs 8. Okay, okay. Oh, a couple of hits, a few hits. No crits. 3 hits for the Flesh Golem, each of them is an 8. So from 24 durability, he goes down to 21 as a Rain of Arrows hits him. Let's see if there's any other special conditions for the Ranger. No other special conditions for the Ranger since my model's not within an inch. It does not trigger skirmish, and pinning shot is also not triggered because the Ranger did not roll any criticals. So that ends the Ranger's turn, and we will move to the Priest, which is the next in order of activation. Priest has rolled a 10 for his AI, which is never a good thing, and all heroes within 12 inches increase their offense and defense by 1, and that is for the turn. Rodergast pays the cost for Necromantic Bolt from 19 to 16, and he prepares a negative bolt to the face of the Paladin. It is power 4, so 4 dice. The Paladin's resist is a 7. How many successes do I get? I get 3 successes. However, faith protects, and the Paladin has a special ability that will cause all of these successes to be rerolled. Let's remove the failed roll, and we reroll 3 successes, which really stinks. And Rodergast only gets 1 success now, which is 1d10 damage, for a total of 6 points of damage to the Paladin. And now the Paladin's durability goes down to a 16. For my 4 rating of undead, the second activation, the giant skeleton moves up 8 inches towards the group of heroes, and the skeletal lizard man moves 6 inches towards this bush. And now it is the hero's turn, going with the Paladin and the Wizard. We'll see what their AI has to say. The Paladin has moved to attack the Flesh Golem, and his temporary offense is now 9 dice. The Flesh Golem's defense is an 8. So, let's see. Okay, not too bad. With an 8 on her AI, the Red Wizard makes a fireball attack on the nearest target, which is the Flesh Golem. Unfortunately, the Paladin will take damage, half damage as well. This is an offensive attack that uses the resist of the target, and she has a temporary boost of an extra dice. That's 6 dice. So the resist of the Flesh Golem is a 6, and we see a crit there. 3 damage for the Flesh Golem, and the damage is rounded up, so 2 damage for the Paladin from the Fireball. Crash! There it is. Rodergast steps forward and casts Grasping Tendrils, using the Ranger as the base target, but affecting the Priest and the Blue Wizard as well. He rolls his 3 power dice, and the Ranger gets 1d3 damage, because he got 1 success. So 1d3 damage. Okay. 3 points of damage to the Ranger, and all other models, including the Ranger, are now slowed. To end the turn, the Blue Wizard has moved 4 inches because she is slowed, and she makes a fiery attack against the 3 nearest targets. That means Flesh Golem, Giant Skeleton, and Rodergast himself each will get an attack. The Flesh Golem has defense of 8. This is an offensive attack, and she uses 6 dice because of her temporary blessing. And it looks like 1 damage to the Flesh Golem. Skeletal Giant, same thing, defense 8. Looks like 3 damage to the Skeletal Giant. Rodergast, who is defense 6. Looks like 1, 2, 3 hits to Rodergast, and he takes 3 energy damage. So now the turn has ended, and Rodergast's 4th activation, he moved from that little pool over to this pool edge here, and using his Aura of Repair, he granted 2 points of durability to the Flesh Golem, and he went up from 18 durability back up to 20 durability. And that ends the turn, and for his 4 rating, Lucian moved forward 5 inches, and that ends turn 1. Now, turn 2 as the battle continues. During all the minion rolls, no heroes took damage, since this is the advanced game. Now, we move on to Rodergast's first activation. I was lucky this turn. Rodergast's energy increased from 13 to 16 this turn, and now he can move. For his first activation, Rodergast casts Bolster Undead for 4 energy on the Bone Giant. He gives it exclusively to the Giants. As it's 1 target, the Bone Giant's offense and defense is increased by 2. Now, Rodergast simply moves to the pool again. The Bone Giant now moves 8 inches towards the closest warriors. Because of the Bone Giant's sweeping strikes, he can hit other models within 3 inches of his target. Those models will take half damage, while the target itself will take full damage. So he targets the Wizard, and the other 2, the Priest and the Red Wizard, take half damage. And Skelly attacks with 9 dice and must hit the Wizard on 7s. Wow, 4 crits, holy crap. That's 4 crits, and looks like 1 extra hit. So, yeah. Blue Wizard only has 2 durability left. And now everyone else in that little group gets half damage. So half of 9 rounding up will be 5. The Skeletal Lizard Man, rating 1, now moves 6 inches towards Rodergast, who himself made sure to stay clear of the Giant's sweeping strikes. There is the Lizard Man skeleton. The Ranger, not slowed anymore, has now moved into a position where he can attack 3 targets. He has the Flesh Golem, Skeletal Giant, and Rottergast is in his reach. He also has Marishka down here, but Rottergast is closer. So he fires on the Flesh Golem first, needing 8s. And this is AI result number 10, triple shot. Alright, he does roll a crit. 4 hits altogether. 2 8s and a 10. Skeleton Giant. Looks like a crit. And no other hits. 2 damage to the Skeleton Giant. Since the Skeleton Giant is nothing but bones, he takes 1 damage. Rottergast himself with a defense of 6. As second activation, he moves 4 inches closer to the Flesh Golem. He then targets the Bone Giant with his healing ability and a D3 point. 2 points back to the Bone Giant. So now he goes up from 7 durability to 9. He is originally 11. So Bone Giant gets a little bit of healing. And now Rottergast uses his actual action after his movement to do a spell on the Ranger. And that spell is going to be Necromantic Bolt. The result of that spell is actually 3 successes. He is resist 7. So 3 successes gives me a D10 and a D6 bonus. And the Ranger takes 6 points of damage. He has durability 20. So yeah, he's now down to 14. Okay, turn 2 is now over, and I have something very important to correct because I forgot this in turn 2, and it's a special ability of the wizards, Walk the Mists. Anytime a figure ends their activation within 6 inches of the wizard the first time, it only happens the first time, that wizard teleports backward or away from the enemy 12 inches. That's very important. So I'm going to have to remove the damage from that wizard because she would have teleported away from Bone Giant. So now they are, I did teleport them correctly. And the other thing is that the first attack on the wizard gives themselves a +1 defense. So these things really make the wizard a little bit more durable since they have low defense. So that's very important. So I'm going to correct that. Now Marishka moved over here and attacked the Ranger, doing 3 damage. And now the Ranger is going to move away 8 inches. Okay, so we're going to have to move the Ranger away 8 inches. And that's that cat and mouse thing now. Because as they teleport, it makes it harder for me to get them down by turn 5. So very important correction. We now move to turn 3. Okay, so just finished rolling for all of the minions. I've been very lucky. The last roll was a 2. The closest roll was a 5, which was the Flesh Golem. But no one took damage this first turn by the anger of the beast who doesn't want to be awakened. And now we move to Rottergast's first activation. He only has energy 7, so he collects 3 energy for a total of 9. And now we'll see what he plans on doing. Rottergast with 5 energy, he boosts the Lizard Man's skeleton, giving him +2 offense and defense, and then moves a little bit closer to the middle of the fight. Now this activation means his aura can activate, and he chooses the Flesh Golem to give him a little bit of durability. He rolls a D3 for 3 points to the Flesh Golem, who's actually started with 24 durability and is only down to 15. So he gains 3 back. Boosted skeleton now attacks the paladin. So he is normally offense 4, but he is boosted, so now he is offense 6. 6s. Okay, it looks like the Lizardman Warrior, Skeleton Warrior, has 2 damage on the Paladin. Okay. Marishka charges the Ranger. And now the Ranger is defense 6, and she has 6 offense. A 9, an 8, and a critical. Oh, another 9. So 2, 4, 5 hits altogether on the Ranger. Now, okay. Now that Marishka finishes the Ranger, finished the activation, the Ranger then retreats 8 inches away from her. So he is down to 6 durability and is all the way over by the pillar, by that shrine over there. So that was a good hit by Marishka. Now that's only 2 rating of undead so far, so I can still activate Cousin. Cousin moves in on Paladin and does 1 damage to him, and now it is the hero's turn. So Ranger attacks the Bone Giant with Rain of Arrows, and okay, 1 hit, and that is all. 1 hit on the Bone Giant. Now, the Skeleton Warrior, which is 3 inches away from Bone Giant, takes half damage rounding up. So because of nothing but bones, each of these figures take no damage. Priest just rolled a 9 on his turn, and he does a healing pulse where everyone within 12 inches heals 1d6 durability. That includes blue, basically all the heroes, including the Paladin. That really freaking sucks. So all the heroes are now going to heal 1d6, so that's 3 durability. Okay, let's summarize turn 3. Here are the positions of the figures after turn 3. Now that wizard is going to walk the mist as soon as turn 4 opens. The priest was hit by Bone Giant. Bone Giant cost 3 points of damage to it. However, so did my little lizard man. He took 2 points of damage because he's too close to the Bone Giant. So that was too bad. The Flesh Golem on his turn, when it was his activation, did some damage to the Paladin. But the Paladin is going to heal 1 point at the beginning of next turn. So yeah, that's going to suck. Paladin is currently at durability 8. He's going to be durability 9. And we see that Lucian has moved here, inched closer to the battlefield. I don't know. It is now the end of turn 3. Turn 4 is going to begin. I really don't know that Radagast is going to make it. This skeleton is on his way out. So I really don't know, with all the teleportation abilities and all that stuff. I really don't know that Radagast is going to make it. Okay, and Radagast's final activation, he moved his position and he used his healing aura to bring the Flesh Golem back up to 22 durability. So yeah, now it might be worth noting that the Flesh Golem, if he goes down to 12 or less durability, his offense increases to 10. So it might be worth letting him go down a little bit in durability. He'll be unstoppable brute. He's not going to be able to kill all those heroes in 5 turns. All right, turn 4. Okay, before I do anything, the wizard's gonna Misty Walk, so I don't forget, because Marishka is within 6 inches. She's going to Misty Walk all the way here. And she is away from, she's close to Bone Giant, but not an inch away. So she's fine. Okay, so now the Angry Beast. Bone Giant. Okay, he's fine. Lizard Man Skelly. He's fine. Cousin. He's fine. Mariska. Oh, close. She's fine. Death Knight. Lucian. He's fine. And Flesh Golem. He's fine. I've been very lucky with these advanced rolls. Alright, so all the minions are okay. They take no damage from the Angry Beast. Now Radagast recharges 3 for a total of 7. And it's Radagast's turn. I have to remember that this paladin will heal 1 point at the start of his activation. So hopefully I remember. Okay, Radagast. Radagast moves his 6 inches and triggers his aura. And he will choose 1 creature to give some durability back, some healing. I think it's going to be the Flesh Golem. He'll be healed to full if I get enough. 1d3. Alright, 1 point. He's not healed to full, but 1 away. So he is now 23 durability. That's good, but I'm running out of time. Okay, so now that was triggered just by his activation, it doesn't take up an action. So now he's gonna fire a bolt of magic. Now the wizards are there. Alright, now they have a high resist, a resist of 9, so it would be a long shot. I'm gonna hit the ranger because he's low on energy and we gotta kill something. Resist of 7. And yeah, 2 successes. The 10 doesn't count in the spell, so 2 successes is still 1d10 damage. A 6. Now the ranger takes 6 durability damage thanks to this spell. However, he did heal 3 points last turn. He is now down. He actually has 3 points left. So he is on his way out. But again, time is running out. Giant shifts position and places himself in a position that he can attack all 3 heroes. One of them, the main attack will be on the priest, and the other 2 will take half damage. So he rolls 7 dice, and the priest has a defense of 7. Okay, let's see how he does. Okay, looks like 1, an 8 for 2, 3, 7. Okay, so 3 damage to the priest, and the other 2 take 2 damage. That rogue is now down. That ranger is now down to 1 durability. Because Bone Giant attacked, the ranger is going to retreat 8 inches away from Bone Giant, and he's going to move away from at least stay an inch away from any enemy. Mariska is nearby though, so that's the best he can do. Man Skelly attacks the paladin. Let's see what damage will he do. The paladin has 8 durability. Is it 8? Yes, but he is going to heal 1 durability next time. So let's see. Okay, so he rolls a crit and 2 7s. What is the defense of the paladin? The defense is 6, so that's 4 damage. Paladin has 8 durability. He now has 4 durability left. Good hit by the lizard man Skelly. The ranger has rolled a 9 on its AI, and so that is the triple shot result, which is not good for me. He's just going to shift his position a little bit and get 3 enemies in line of sight. That's going to be this guy, who's pretty big. So we're going to say there's line of sight there. And then Mariska herself, and then Lucian Death Knight. I'm going to do Mariska first. She has a defense of 6. Okay. Mariska takes 4 damage. She hasn't been hit yet. durability is a 9, so that leaves her with 5 durabilities. Flesh Golem, which is back to 22 health. He has 8. Oh, there's a crit there. Okay, there's a couple of hits. 2, 3, 4, 5 damage to the Flesh Golem. From 22 down 5. By the way, because of pinning shot, the Flesh Golem's movement is now reduced by 2. So I'm going to mark that on the table. Alright, that ends the Ranger, and now the Priest. Priest rolls a d10. God damn. No way, another 9. Now a 9 is a blessing. The Priest and all heroes within 12 inches increase their offense and defense by 1 until the end of the turn. This is not going well for Radagast. Before any activation can occur, this blue Priest Misty walks 12 inches, and that puts her all the way back here. All the way back here. God, I hate Misty Walk. Summarizing things a little bit, Radagast's second activation, he moves 6 inches, spots Mariska, rolls a d3, gives her 1 point of healing. She is within the 12-inch range of his healing aura. And then he powers up a negative bolt against the Priest. And let's see, the Priest has a resist of 8. See that there's only 1 success here. So that's a d10 damage to the Priest. And too bad that that wasn't a crit. It is a 10, however, so 10 points of damage. Our Priest only had 7 durability, so he is now down to 0, and he is out of the picture with that negative bolt. And Radagast now receives, he was only down to 1 energy after the use of the spell, so he is now back up to 4 energy. This turn also sees Bone Giant activating and catching the Red Wizard before she can Misty Walk. So the conditions here were not met for her to Misty Walk, and he hits her, giving her 2 points of damage and reducing her to 9 durability. Okay, the Paladin has just died here in turn 4. It's nearing the end of turn 4. This was Radagast's third activation. He moved over here and then healed Mariska for 1 point with his aura. She is up to 7 durability now, thanks to the healing. Now, during the 4 rating of Undead, Lizardman Skelly, with only 2 durability left, attacks the Paladin and causes no damage. The only thing to do next is to activate Lucian Death Knight, and then we go on to turn 5. So I'm just going to do that, and we are on turn 5. There's still 2 wizards on the table. Radagast begins with 7 energy this turn, and then we go to the monster, the Angry Beast rolls. Rolling a d6 for Bone Giant. A 1, he's okay. Okay, and Cousin rolled a 4, so he's fine, but Death Knight rolled a 6, which means that we roll another d6, and Death Knight takes 2 points of damage from the Angry Beast. And the other figure rolling a 6 is the Flesh Golem, so we roll a d6 damage, and he gets 5 points of damage. Okay, so for the injured undead, random direction. So for the Flesh Golem, it's going to move 8 inches that way towards the shrine. Is going to put my Flesh Golem all the way up here. Mariska's fine, and now we're ready to go to Radagast's first turn. But first and foremost, we have to remember this wizard Misty walks. Unfortunately for me, this wizard is also within 6 inches of that Bone Giant, so that one's going to Misty Walk as well and get farther. So during his first activation, Radagast moves 6 inches and gives 3 points of healing to Death Knight. and that is his ending position. Giant moves 8 inches, and my last rating cousin moves 6 inches closer to the wizards. But now it is the red wizard's turn. Wizard gets a 7 on her AI, so she attacks the nearest enemy, which we're going to say is Bone Giant. He's the biggest threat. She attacks him with a fireball. This attack uses the resist instead of the defense, so resist a 4 for the giant skelly. And yeah, we got 3 damage to giant skelly. Okay guys, and the game is gonna end here, and here is why. Radagast just moved. This is his second activation. He moved 6 inches here. Now he has both of these wizards in line of sight, but let's see. They're still too far away, and the spell that I had in mind was Draining Wave, which does 1d6 damage. But here's the problem. Even if I rolled successfully and I hit both of them with Draining Wave, all non-spirit enemies, right? It's a 3d10 power. Even if I did 1d6 damage, the red wizard has 9 durability and the blue wizard has 8 durability. And so even if the spell went off, it's not going to do much, because they're still going to have points left in their durability, and my minions are way too far. I mean, this guy moves 5 inches, and they're just too far away to be of any real assistance. And even if I manage to teleport one of them close, I can't teleport them into combat, but even if they teleported and they managed to kill one wizard like Death Knight over there, we still have the other wizard, and we're running out of activations for the minions. So I'm just gonna end it here. Radagast, while he tried hard, he does not win the field. Radagast gets 1 experience because he has more than 4 rating of undead on the table. Minion must be a rating 4. I rolled a 5. We more than enough get it. So what happens is, a vampire's rating 4, Mariska is going to be now raised as a full-fledged vampire. She's going to grow a lot more powerful, and that's what I'm going to do with that. Now, Mariska's story is not over, because I may decide to make her a necromancer in the future, and I have a narrative in mind for that. So Mariska becomes a full-fledged vampire after this battle, especially since she contributed to the death of the ranger. So that pretty much begins our Halloween series. It's the first game in our Halloween series and the final game for Adventures of Radagast. But no fear, for those of you that like Death Wizards, Death Wizards will continue sometime in the future. And we will be exploring other things. Like, for example, Mariska is now a full-fledged vampire, but I am thinking of making her an actual necromancer. That, if you want to immortalize a character that you like in this game, the way to do it is to turn them into a necromancer. And so if I decide to do that in the future, we explore Mariska, her character, as a necromancer in a series that I would call Legacy of Blood. And but for the time being, she's a full-fledged vampire. She's still Radagast's second in command. It's interesting because Death Wizards, I've played for 11 games now, and that's great, because I haven't done that in a long time with any game. The last game that Julie and I played for a long period of time was Oathmark. We played religiously every Thursday. And Stargrave, games like that. We played quite a few games of those particular rules, and it really gives you an opportunity to learn the game and understand the game, and you have a lot of fun that way. So Death Wizards, it's a great little game. I have to say, there's a lot to remember when you're playing solo. The 2-player game is a lot easier, because both players are taking their necromantic war bands, and basically you don't have the AIs, you don't have anything like that. But in solo, there's a lot to remember. I mean, you have your AIs in front of you, and it gives you all the rules. But unfortunately, I tend to have mush for brains sometimes, and I always forget little things here and there. But it was still a very fun game, and it's a game that has a lot of narrative potential. It would be very interesting to play Death Wizards using all the rules, but playing it in a different setting that's not death. Playing it in maybe a setting in the desert with an almost like Tomb King's flavor, where your necromancer is more of a like a dead pharaoh or a Tomb King kind of character, right? Um, that would be really interesting, and set it in like a desert setting. And then the missions, you may need a little house rolling here and there, but you can use all the same mechanics. And I think I may play around with that idea sometime in a distant future. So we'll see. But this is definitely a very good game. I like what Snarling Badger Studios has done with Death Wizards, for sure. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for sticking with me throughout this series. And our next game is going to be Rain in Hell. That's Halloween game number 2, another game from Snarling Badger Studios. You get to play as the anti-hero in Rain in Hell as well. It's a game of demonic skirmish combat. So Rain in Hell is next, and finally we will try to end Halloween with the game Veritwood. All right? So 2 more games in the series. Let's see how it goes. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next game. I'm not going to say Happy Halloween yet. We'll wait for the very end to say Happy Halloween, but that's next week already. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for all your support.